Welcome to Your Mic is Hot, the podcast where we speak up, stand out, and build something that fits your life. I'm your host, Julie Eichhoff of the Online School for Voiceover, and I believe that your voice, your story, and your skills are the keys to creating a business that's as unique as you are. And let's dive in. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. This is Julie Eichhoff. Today, we are going to be getting onto a topic that affects all of us at one point or another, but especially when we're just starting out or when we're doing something new. The episode is called The Confidence Loop: How Action Builds Belief. Here is the key. Confidence doesn't show up before you act. It shows up because you act. So let's dig into this. If you are waiting to feel ready and to feel qualified and to feel 100% certain before you launch that podcast or pitch your voiceover service or share a video, then this episode is your gentle nudge to move forward anyway. Because let's talk about what confidence really is and why perfection can be a trap and how you can start building belief in yourself through small, simple actions. Let's start by busting a bit of a myth, and that's that confidence is a personality trait. It's not reserved for extroverts or people who seem to have it all figured out or people who don't care what others think. Confidence is a skill, and it's a side effect of doing the thing you thought you couldn't do. Now, I think we can all pinpoint a few people in our life who just seem like they are confident people. Sometimes it's just simply the way they hold themselves, like people with good posture and who look others in the eye, just give the aura of confidence. I always think people who don't smile a lot seem to be more confident as well. I'm more of a people pleaser and I smile all the time, and maybe it's my way of being warm and friendly to hide that I'm not confident, whereas people who are calm and collected, to me, look more confident. And that may not be the case at all, because confidence is a skill. And like I said, it's a side effect of doing the thing that you thought you couldn't do. Think about it. Were you confident the first time you learned to drive a car? Were you confident the first time you sat down to record something in your recording booth? Were you confident maybe in your 9-to-5 job the first time you had to lead a meeting? Well, of course not. You felt awkward. You probably felt nervous. Maybe even sometimes you feel kind of dumb, like this should be easier to figure out than that. But the point is we all feel that way the first few times we do things. But you kept going. And the more you did it, the more it became natural. You kept practicing your driving, and now you're likely, hopefully, a confident driver. Or maybe you're someone who's now very comfortable leading meetings. Whatever it is, we all start with a nervousness, feeling uneasy, and then after you do it a few times, you build confidence. And that's the point of all of this. Action creates an experience. When you actually do something, it creates an experience in your mind, in your body, in your muscles. Experience creates evidence. That evidence is for you. You've done it. You've proved it to yourself. And now that evidence builds belief, and that is confidence. I'm going to repeat all that. Action, so doing something, taking that step, doing that thing, creates an experience. You're going through something. That experience creates evidence. You did it. Whether it turned out great or not, you did it. And that evidence in your brain builds belief. Boy, I really can do this. Now, when we go through this process, there are a couple of traps that seem to slow us down, and one of them is the perfection trap. Here's where a lot of us get stuck from moving forward. We think that we have to be great at something before we can start. We don't want to be seen as fumbling around or not doing it right the first time. We don't want to get it wrong. We're afraid of looking unqualified, or worse, being called out for even trying. That can happen very easily. So what do we do then? Well, we delay. We do a little bit more planning. We do more research. We take another course. We redesign our logo again. And this feels like productivity, but really it's perfection in disguise, and it's procrastination. And that's what it really is. It's just fear with a nice outfit on. I see this so often, especially with my voiceover students. They've been practicing their skills. They're learning how to record and edit audio. They're working on their script interpretation skills, and they're getting it. They're making progress, but they don't feel confident. So instead of starting with auditioning, which is actually putting yourself out there and getting started and trying, they might say, I'm going to get my website up first. And they tinker around with their logo and build their website. And this feels productive because you're working on your business, right? You're doing something that needs to be done. But it really, really is procrastination. And this is what I talk about in my courses all the time. It's everything does not have to be perfect, and you don't have to do everything in order, but you do have to get stuff done. You have to move forward. And if there's something that you really don't want to do because you feel uneasy, it's probably more important than ever that you do that thing, because you get better by doing the thing, whatever that is. There's no version of your future self who is confident without having shown up scared a bunch of times first. So if you're scared, that's good. That means you're growing. And if you're fumbling around and you're not doing things perfectly, that is fine. That means you're in the game. And eventually, everything is going to loop back around. So let's talk about ways to get some small wins, okay? We all love to see big flashy wins, when you book out a big client or your post goes viral or you have a sold out launch. That feels great in the moment, but confidence is actually built in the little moments. Those really big wins that come right off the bat, they don't give you confidence. They make you feel lucky. And if anything, they do the opposite. Instead of reinforcing that you did it right and you can do it again, they make you feel like, ooh, that was great, it happened, but I don't know that it was me that made it happen. I think I was just lucky. So the big wins are great. I'm not going to say they aren't, but they aren't what actually builds your confidence. It's the little moments that you repeat over and over again that give you genuine confidence to move forward. These little moments could be things like just simply recording your first podcast episode. Doesn't matter if anybody listens to it. It doesn't matter if it took you 12 times to record it in a way that you liked it. After you record your first podcast episode, that is a win. That is going to make you feel more confident down the road. Or maybe you're a writer and you're starting to write blogs and you spend time writing your very first blog post and you're getting ready to hit publish. When you hit publish, that little tiny win is a building block to confidence. It doesn't matter if anybody reads it. The fact is, you hit publish. Or it could be posting a video on Instagram if that's the way that you're marketing your service or your product, even if the lighting isn't right or the sounding isn't right. If you post it, even though it's not perfect, that is a win that will help you build confidence. Or another example, if you reach out to someone you admire, you're trying to connect with them, but maybe they don't even respond. But the fact is, you took the time to reach out. That is a little moment that is a win that builds confidence. These little micro wins compound and they become evidence in your body. Celebrate them. Don't brush them off as no big deal because these little things are a big deal. Every time you hit a tiny win, say, "See, I did that." And gradually you'll start to believe yourself. That becomes the voice you trust next time fear tries to talk you out of doing something. For me, in my online course business where I teach people how to become voice artists and I teach them how to do podcasts, early on when I put my course together, I knew it was good because it followed what I knew from doing the business for so many years. But I needed students to start going through that course so that I could validate that. And putting that course out there into the world and saying, here's something I think could help you, was really scary. I had never had an online course before. And the first time somebody completed the course and submitted their audio files to me for their voice review, And I had a chance to listen to somebody else's audio files, someone who, before they took the course, they had never spoken into a microphone. They didn't have a recording space in their home. They didn't know how to record or edit or master audio files. And now they are sending me audio files. They are showing me that they know how to bring a script to life. They know how to record it. They know how to edit audio. They know how to master it to make it meet audiobook submission requirements. They know how to export it. They know how to send it to me. And all of a sudden, it builds confidence in me as well. Like, this course works. I know it does, because otherwise this person could not have produced this. And that builds confidence. So every single time somebody turns in their audio files for their voice review, it continues to build confidence in me. But you know where it started? I had to publish that course first. I had to put it out there in the world. I had to let the first few people sign up for it and go through it. It's awkward. It makes you nervous. You're uncomfortable. But little by little, now I know that course works. I've had so many people go through and be so confident when they finished and successful with the outcome. I know it works, but it took all those little steps for me to believe it myself. You're going to be the same way, no matter what business you're in. The more you do it, all those little steps repeated over and over, you will know that what you're doing is right, and you will know that what you were doing is helping someone else. And if you find out along the way that it's not helping someone the way you planned for it to, or it's not selling like you wanted it to, it's simply a redirection. That's data. That means you just need to alter something. For example, in my course, throughout the course, when students have questions as they're going through and watching the videos, if they ask me a question, I will give them an answer. I will think, did I not explain that correctly in the course? Is there some way I could have shared that information or taught that information so that they wouldn't have to ask me that question, that information would be there? And then I'll go back and I'll tweak the course. I'll add a video, or I'll add some text on the screen, something to help make sure that the next person who goes through that area of the course has that question answered for them already. So I'm constantly tweaking things based on the feedback I'm getting. I don't feel bad about that. I feel great about that. I love that people can communicate with me and that I can pivot just a little bit. Okay, coming up next. If you are someone who is hesitating, you've got an idea, you've got a business idea, you've got skills, you've got a service, something you're ready to share, but you're hesitating, what I have for you next is some ideas on how to get unstuck when you are hesitating. So these are what I would call like a few grab-and-go strategies that you can use if you are feeling like for some reason you're just not getting it done and you know you should. Number one is this: set a timer and then just do the thing you need to do. Give yourself 20 minutes, not to maybe finish something, but maybe to just start. Having a deadline, even if it's 20 minutes, can help you get your behind in gear and actually get working on it. So I highly recommend giving yourself a deadline. All right? Second idea is this: say it out loud. Sometimes just voicing your fear to your friend, to your mentor, to your husband, to your wife, whatever, can make it lose its power a little bit. So, for example, you're launching an online course, and what's your fear? That someone will say this isn't teaching me what I need, or that no one will buy it, or whatever it is. Whatever that fear is, say it out loud to somebody. Talk it through. Okay. I get this same fear anytime I have a medical test done. You go to the doctor and you have labs done, whatever, and I'm really very interested in everything health related. But there's something about if I can share that fear with someone and say, oh, I'm having my mammogram today, and just talk it through. Yes, it always makes me nervous till I find out what's happening. It takes away some of that fear and some of that anxiety. The same is true in business. If you are nervous about whatever your next step is, talk to somebody. A, they can say, you'll be fine, move forward. B, they might say, oh, I can see why you're thinking that, but maybe think about it this way. Regardless, talking it out is going to diffuse it to some level. Then set yourself a timer for 20 minutes and get it done. Okay. Another idea is to really lower the stakes in your mind. So let's say you're producing a video. It's going to be posted on Instagram, and your goal is you really want it to go viral. You really want tons and tons of people to see it. Instead of thinking in your head, this has to be a really big thing, it has to go viral, just think, I'm sharing this to help one person. Same can be true if you're doing an online course, something like that. I don't need 1,000 people to sign up today. I want one person to sign up today, and I just want to help that one person. So lower the stakes so you feel a little bit less stressed about it. Okay? Fourth idea is to reframe the fear. Nervousness, you know that feeling you're nervous, and excitement kind of feel the same in your body. So maybe you're not scared. Maybe you're actually just ready, all right? There's an uneasy feeling in you, and it can be described as nervousness if you so choose, and that can slow you down. Or package it up as excitement, like, let's do this thing. Let's see what's going to happen. And in that way, you're going to feel a little bit more ready. My fifth suggestion is to take one next step. I know when we are building businesses, there's like 100 things on our mind that need to be done in a day, right? Sometimes that's actually what slows us down, is the to-do list is so long, you're like, I cannot finish this. I don't even feel like starting. And all I'm saying is take one step, break everything down, one email, one sentence, one post, one ask, whatever it is, one thing, just move forward. Confidence builds in doing the thing, not the planning. I wholeheartedly believe in planning, but confidence comes from doing what you need to do. So get it done. Okay, next up is your weekly micro challenge. And this is called Start Before You Feel Ready. Okay? Your micro challenge is simple this week, but it might feel really bold. So the thing is, I'm going to ask you to do one thing that you've been avoiding because you don't feel ready. All right? What are you building in your business? Ask yourself that. What do you not feel ready for? Okay? This could be maybe publicly posting on Facebook or Instagram about your offer, about your service. Is that part of your marketing plan down the road? But maybe you don't feel ready to do it because everything on the back end isn't perfect yet? Well, I'm going to encourage you to perhaps post something anyway. Because if you wait until you think everything is perfect and then you post, you have lost all the opportunities to gain insight and to gain data and to gain confidence along the way. Start right away. Start posting. Realize what works, what doesn't work. What do you enjoy doing? What do you not enjoy doing? Make those mistakes early, because then when the stakes get higher down the road, you've already built confidence and you have a better idea what direction you need to go. Okay? Another idea could be, are you planning to pitch yourself to be on somebody else's podcast? You know, that is a fabulous way to reach lots of new potential clients or customers, is to be on someone else's podcast. That was really how everything exploded for me. I was in somebody's Facebook group. It was Work at Home Heroes at the time, I believe, and posting a little bit about working as a voice artist. And then I'd put a course together. And people in that Facebook group went bonkers asking for information about that. So much so they had to really close down the entire post because it was getting out of hand. But the owner of that group was hosting a podcast, and this was many years ago by now. And she invited me on to talk about being a voice artist and working from home and the course that I'd put together. And because of that one podcast, we are here today. I honestly can say I think that is 99.9% of the reason that this has all come together. Not only did it bring me lots of students right off the bat, but it also brought me the affiliates that I have talked about in other podcasts. Almost the entire way that I promote my online course is through affiliates who are in the work from home space. I should say bloggers who are in the work from home space. And they help promote my free course, Intro to VoiceOver. And so because I was on that one podcast, I now have, 20, 24 people who are actively promoting my course for me. And they all came about because I was on that podcast. So if you were looking for ways to market your business, there's probably a podcast out there you could be on. So even if you don't feel ready, start lining up a few podcasts that you would like to be on as a guest. Go to their website. See what it takes to become a guest, even if you don't feel ready. All right, maybe are you starting a podcast? Do you have some ideas? You're excited to build a community. You're excited to share your expertise, but you haven't recorded your first podcast episode? Well, get behind that microphone. Record something. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can redo it later if you want to, but record at least one episode, even if you don't feel ready. How about going live on Instagram or Facebook? Is that a part of your future marketing plans? Well, don't wait until everything's perfect to do it. Just like posting something on Facebook or Instagram, going live is a great way to work out the kinks. I have another course creator friend of mine who was doing live Facebook painting sessions, and she would actually just go on. She was in her art studio. She would paint paintings, and she was selling classes on how to paint. And so, the first few I saw, there was, problems with the camera at the wrong angle, or sometimes it would be lighting or sound or whatever. They were never perfect, and that was perfect that they weren't perfect, because it was how people got to know her. They knew she was real. They could see what she was doing. And at the same time, she was learning better ways to do things and building confidence and learning to enjoy the whole process. So if going live is something you're thinking about doing, then do it. Get out there and do it. How about emails? How about sending emails to people who are interested in your product or service, or people who you'd like to reach out and tell about your product or service? Sending emails can make you feel a little bit exposed because you're kind of out there asking for the business, right? Well, just do it. Don't wait for everything to be perfect and lined up. Just start sending the emails. Start sharing information. Start sharing how you can help people. Because at some point or another, they're going to be happy they know about you. And when the time is right for them, they'll reach out to you. After you've done any of these things, whether it's posting or going live or recording or pitching yourself on a podcast, whatever your first thing is that you have been avoiding doing, after you do it, I want you to say, I did it, and I'm proud. I know, that's a little cheesy, but my point is I want you to internalize what you just accomplished. It's like jumping over a hurdle, but you did it, right? Even if you knocked your knee on the hurdle or you even fell down afterwards, whatever it is, you did it. And when you go over the next hurdle, you will have learned some lessons. You will do it better. You'll enjoy it more, and you will be building confidence. So let's circle back again. You don't need to wait until you feel confident to get started. Starting is what builds the confidence that you're waiting for. I'm going to repeat that sentence from earlier in the episode. Action creates experience. All right? Doing something creates an experience in your body. Your mind, your muscles are going through something. That experience creates evidence for you. And that evidence will build belief. That belief is confidence. You have to do things to actually feel confident. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Confidence is not a magic trait that some people are born with. It's a loop. And you can step into that loop anytime you choose. You do it by action. Just get started. It might be messy. You probably don't have everything lined up perfect, and perfection is a problem. We don't want perfection. Start messy. Start scared. Start small. But start something. Action is what you need first. Because every time you do show up, you're proving to yourself that you can. And that proof, that's what turns fear into momentum. And that will build confidence. Remember, people, your mic is hot. Don't wait until you feel ready. Say what you came here to say, and I will be right here ready to cheer you on. Thanks for being with us today. And just in case, if you have interest in becoming a voice artist, please check out my free mini course, Intro to Voiceovers. You'll find a link to it in the show notes. It's a Q&A session that should help answer all those questions you have going on in your head, wondering how you could make it happen. So find the show notes, check out the link for the free mini course, Intro to VoiceOver. Thanks for tuning in to Your Mic is Hot. If today's episode got you thinking, dreaming, or planning, share it with a friend, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Remember, your mic is hot. The world's waiting. Speak up, stand out, and build something that fits your life.